Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. I'm Tanya E. Hood, a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, it simply means I've worn a lot of different hats in my life that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make strategic impact, both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been giving them. Red Alert Diaries is based on the life lessons from my premier book, Red Alert. Is He the One? The pocket guide to finding the love of your life. And if you read my book, you already know that I got married at 21, and after 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce, having to raise my two sons alone. To reset my life and survive my divorce, I took the time I needed to get to know me better, which opened me up to new love again. So now, I'm in a new marriage to the love of my life and my best friend, which just proves there is life after divorce. On this podcast, we have conversations that's real talk, marriage and divorce, money and legacy. And I want you to join me on the journey. Call 240-532-2227. That's 240-532-2227. I want this podcast to challenge your thoughts and inspire you to grow. So together, we can operate in excellence. Today, I want to say, I feel better, y'all. Thank you so much for those of you that reached out to me, that checked on me to see how I was doing, because y'all know that I was committed to make certain that I showed up as best I could. Because like I stated last week, when you make a decision beforehand, it encourages you to stand. And today, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Have you considered that you have to do something in the world at this time because you are the only solution that there is? You see, part of the reason why I showed up even when I wasn't feeling my best is because I believe at the center of my soul that I was born with solutions to give the world around me. And I want you to know something. So have you. You were born for such a time as this, in this time, in this space, in this place, because in your soul is someone's answered prayer. You are a support system. You are an individual that people go to because they know when they get to you, they'll be comforted. They know when they get to you, they'll have someone that will give them support to move into their next trajectory. You are someone's answered prayer. You also may be that person for them that can give them a strategy, because you have the natural ability to create procedures and processes. Those are things that we need when we're trying to move into a new direction. And you do it naturally. Think about that. Your natural, logical, analytical mind creates processes and procedures that can be a guide for people to get through. Then, for some of you, you're a natural leader. You just walk into a room and you can see exactly what needs to be done and start giving people direction to get there. That is a strength. And I need you to know that that is part of the solution that people need. So if you don't show up, if you're not clear what you bring, if you don't know at the core of your being that you are a solution, you won't be committed. You won't stand, you won't show, you won't go. And people will be searching. When I finally took the time to discover at the core of my being what I bring to the table, I started feeling a little bit guilty because I took a lot of time. Y'all know, for those of you that listen often, that it took me 3 years to write my premiere book. Because I was revealing my mess. Who wants to truly share their mess to the world? I was telling individuals that I was divorced. And in the family that I grew up, you don't do divorce. And the last thing you do is talk about it. But here's something that I learned. Because I went through some elements when I did an autopsy of my divorce, I discovered some things. And I knew where the landmines were that a lot of people were still stepping on. So I had to make a decision to move past my pain, to move past my hurt, and to move past my pride. Because often, y'all, we have pride that wants to keep us from sharing a story because you don't want to really throw all your stuff in the street. But that lesson that you went through, that insight that you have, that you bring to the table, is something that someone needs. So when I got that very first call from someone that read my book and they gave me a call and told me, I am you. I was the one that was on the bed and they poured out. I decided I can't keep holding in the middle of who I am, the solution that people are looking for. I discovered also my natural ability to organize chaos, and I have been showing up and being committed to do so. I need you to know that you have the same thing in your soul, the opportunity and the ability to show up because you are an answered prayer. Now's the time for you to discover what you're bringing to the table. Are you that person that gathers the team together? Are you the individual on your job that always knows everybody's birthday or pull together the different company events? That is a strength. And you do it well because it's part of your gift. I talked to you before about having spiritual gifts. I'll give another conversation about that in a different time and a different space. But today, I need you to know that you were already born with something that you do naturally. That's what a gift is. And you are to give it to the world. For those of you that show up that really don't want to have a whole lot of conversation with everybody, but you want to still be a solution to them and give them some insight about how they can create strategies and actionable steps to get to their best position. That is a gift. And even if you are not the one that wants to share it, you've got to learn how to partner with someone else that will do it. So that person that you typically meet on your job that wants to gather everybody together, that can pull together those company events, maybe you can partner with them because they already have a natural gift to want to share. If you have a strategy and an actionable step that your natural, logical, analytical mind automatically sees because you're a visionary, start gathering people around you. That is a way that you can get through that part of not knowing how to share what you have brought in your soul to the world. And for those of you that are natural leaders, I want you to know that is a gift. Standing in the middle of the gap, making certain that goals are met, metrics are done. When you are on a job, you are the powerhouse. I want you to know that that same gift that you show up on your job for, those skill sets that you were hired for, something that you need to start looking at to see that you can transition to your personal elements as well. Because I know for me, I did not often bring the same skill that I had on my job into my personal world. So when I was in chaos on the bathroom floor of my 2-bedroom apartment, unemployed, trying to figure it out, it didn't dawn on me that I already had skills that I was bringing to the world. My job saw it because they hired me for it. My friends saw it because they asked me about it. But I never took the time to truly know who I was at the core of my being to see what I was bringing to the world. Today, I want to challenge you to consider the thought that you have something special that you have not taken the time to discover. Take a moment. It doesn't have to be very long. This is a strategy that I often share with my clients because when that lady called me about my book, I needed to create some way to help people navigate that book, get more insight because the book is just an introduction. It fills in a small gap. So the course that I offer gives you greater insight. And when I had my first client, I'm so thankful that she took the time to walk through the journey and the discussion with me because she let me know that what I bring to the table as a solution that's already in my soul to help people see how their professional perspective can also be an element that they use in their personal world because you already have it in you. You just need to know how to turn it on. So when I walk through, here's one thing. I tell people to get a piece of paper, take and write a line straight down the middle of that piece of paper. On one side, write down everything that you know about yourself, who you are, what you bring, the things that you often hear people ask you to do for them. Those are things that you are naturally doing, because here's something. No one ever goes to a tree to get fruit unless there's fruit on it. So people keep asking you to do something. Oh, that's the fruit that's showing up on your tree. So write those things down, because that'll give you a starting place to know what you are bringing to the world. Those are your behaviors and your characteristics, your core value that you have that's showing up. On the other side, then I want you to ask a few people in your job, a few people in your home, family, friends, loved ones. When they think of you, what one word comes to mind? Write down all of that information, because it will give you some insight about what it is that you do. When I did that, I discovered that people lots of times want me to help them organize. And I'm sitting there thinking, why does everybody keep asking me to organize? Because in my environment, I have what I call organized chaos. My husband says that's not a real thing, but I know that there are things that I have in my home that are really strategic, really placed, and I know I need to have it that way to help me stay structured. But then there are other moments when I am really thinking and I'm really focused, and there's a specific project. There's a pile of paper here, a pile of paper there, but I know what's in those piles. I know what that thought process is. And until I'm done with that project, there are piles of paper just everywhere. For me, it's still organized, even though it looks chaotic. But that skill that I have to be able to know which one to go to, which thought process that resided in that space or that place, when I go to someone else and try to help them get to a position to structure and organize, the way my mind works and connecting the dots and putting things in place, that's what they were looking for. So when I started seeing people tell me that they wanted me to help them get structured and organized, and I looked at my world, I'm like, I got to make a decision. There are some things in my life I could not allow to keep sitting in small, what I called my organized chaos. And when I finally took the time personally to do what I'd done professionally, I went to another level, y'all. Some of you are stuck. You have plateaued in your finances, on your job, with your relationships, and you don't know why. It's because you have not fully connected what you do from a professional perspective with what you do on a personal perspective. And if you take the time to connect those dots, then you'll create a synopsis in your mind that will help you automatically find the steps you need to the next level. But if you're like I was and you need a little bit of help, because I did reach out to coaches and authors and speakers and people that had insight about where I was trying to go, those little snippets that they gave me helped me bridge the gap that was holding me hostage until I can get whole. And so for today, you don't remember anything else I've shared. Here's the one thing I want you to know. You were born to be the solution to someone's problems today, but you need to know what you're bringing to the table. If you want to talk more about it, you can reach out to me on tanyaehood.com. There you can go to the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another, so I can pour into you various things that were poured into me. And if you're on Clubhouse, you can join me every Tuesday in the Red Alert Diaries room at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that we can continue this conversation, or we can start a new one. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.